Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys? And welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Forged Irish Stout. If you couldn't have guessed, Roscoe.
Are you intoxicated or something?
How are you keeping, bud?
Man, never better, never better. Forged Irish Stout taking over the world. They're taking over London, sponsoring the Joshua fight this weekend. Like, unbelievable scenes over there. Unbelievable scenes. Obviously, the boxing didn't go according to plan, but sure, look, they're really getting the name out there. We love to see it. So shout out to all the Forged Irish Stout crew.
Yeah. For people tuning in now, we are actually meant to be going over to the press conference, but because Dylan White popped hot, we didn't get to go, Ross. It was disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure, look, plans changed, and like you sort of have to move with what's going on. But look, the guys who went over there at the Food Review Club lads and Doug and the boys, they smashed it over there. So fair play to them. That's what we love to see.
This is number one bullshit.
But Basmo,
Ross, The Ultimate Fighter, episode 11, man. It's the second last
11.
episode. Second last episode. It's going to be emotional.
We are sort of a day later with the goods today, but that's only because we had Nathan Kelly on yesterday, and that was very, very deep, and it was great to chat to Nathan Kelly before he heads off to MSG for the PFL, so shout out to him. That was an incredible episode. If you're watching this and haven't watched that, definitely go watch that. That was one of my favourite interviews of all time, I think we've ever done. But like you said, Basmo, TUF 11. We have our finalists for the lightweight division. Kurt Holloway defeated Jason Knight, and he will now fight Austin Hubbard for the TUF crown.
Yeah, well, Ross, like, it was Mississippi versus Louisiana. I feel like after watching that fight, it was probably the greatest Ultimate Fighter fight I've ever seen. But I feel like a promotion should be set up, and they should only put people from Mississippi against Louisiana in it, Ross. And maybe that's something that we need to start, bud. Yeah!
Yeah, it was chaos, the fight. It was
a hoedown.
It was definitely one of the best fights I've ever seen in the non-finale context, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was an absolute barn burner. I was actually surprised in the fight. I actually thought Jason Knight would have been more bringing the fight to Kurt Holloway, but Kurt Holloway was more bringing the fight to Jason Knight. He looked the bigger. It looks like his shots landed the harder. My biggest takeaway from watching that was how good is Lee Hammond? Because Lee Hammond was owning Kurt Holloway for a solid 8 minutes straight, and then Kurt Holloway went in there and owned Jason Knight. So like, I think this goes to show Lee Hammond is more than UFC ready, and that guy is going to be a problem in the lightweight division when he gets in there.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I didn't think that. But like, I agree. I thought Jason Knight would win on the feet. Like, the way he's done bare knuckle fighting, like, this guy is just dangerous on the feet. But the way he kept rubbing his nose the whole time, I think Kurt broke his nose, and it was like a barroom brawl.
You know what? It was also probably the nicest, like, bloody fight I've ever seen as well. Like, there was more high fives than I would have liked in there. But like, they nailed each other with some shots. Like, they acknowledged the shots that they nailed each other with. Like, everything was thrown with bad intent, and like, it was just a nasty fight between two guys who have the utmost respect for each other. I loved it. You loved it. How could you not love it? It was absolute Ultimate Fighter classic, one of the best we've ever seen in the history of the show. Yeah, I guess John Kavanagh was right. Like, Kurt Holloway looks like he could be the best fighter at lightweight in the house. Like, that was incredible. He was the pick 4 on Michael Chandler's team, but for me, looks like he could be number 1 after that. I think for me right now, he's got the highest stock out of all the lightweights.
Yeah, so he's going to be fighting in the finale, and then next week, Cody Gibson is going to be taking on Rico from Team McGregor. I'm not sure what the second name is. But that's something to look forward to. And the winner of that fight will fight Brad Katona. So
yeah, exactly.
It's winding down, Ross. But I mean,
yeah, winding down, heating up. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting down to the final few competitors. We're going to find out who the champs are, or who the champ will be. So definitely looking forward to seeing it. And yeah, I suppose we're whittling it down to the last few.
We have to touch on the the team challenge. Conor in
Yeah,
the bats versus Chandler in the bats. You were saying heating up, but things were looking very chilly, Ross.
Yeah, they were. Dana White actually gave an interview after Dana White Contender Series this week and said that the tough production team are in hot water, that they shouldn't have done that they shouldn't have actually been in that ice water for 30 minutes. Like, that's actually quite dangerous. And he wasn't actually happy about it. He said he's done 7 minutes before and thought it was absolute hell. These lads were doing it for half an hour. So, yeah, like, what a challenge. UFC trivia. I was quite impressed with all of them. To be honest, I thought the questions were quite hard. Obviously, when Bruce asked Chandler about what round did Conor lose to Khabib, Conor didn't like that one at all. I was like, very harsh.
Yeah. But you know what? If that had been like a normal situation, it wouldn't happen. It's because they're both like catching hypothermia and then bats, man.
Yeah. But look, Team McGregor got the win, and then obviously Conor being Conor was like 10 G's here and 10 G's I brought myself, and then laughed about it. I'm not surprised McGregor won. Like, he is very much a student of the game. And then Michael Chandler basically
He only won by one though.
Yeah, but he still won. So
Yeah, I know, but like it was close.
Yeah, but like when you win the Premier League in 5 years' time, they don't go, oh, they were only 3 points off. You know what I mean? So,
Depends who came second, man.
But there you have it. Like, he got the job done, and I'm not surprised. And then Michael Chandler was like, he was blaming the CTE and it was like brain trauma before he even started. He was like, oh, I don't really remember stuff too well. I was like, oh, Jesus.
He sort of said he just like watched and didn't like just take it in. He just like, it was like being on a car, looking out the window, just watching things go by. He wasn't soaking in the UFC atmosphere. And some of those questions were old school, but they were very old school. They were like kicks in the groin old school. Like,
yeah, like, oh, who did Mark Coleman beat and things like that. Yeah, I was like, Jesus, what, a UFC 10, I think it was. It was Tom Fry. It was like, Jesus, fair enough.
Yeah, that's why I was sort of thinking how you get on. Like, I know I would have won it, obviously, but I mean, like, I was seeing if you could have came third, potentially.
Yeah, well, they did have Bruce Buffer asking the questions, you know what I mean? So it has to be old school.
Very old school, man. Very old school. But,
Come see, believe, achieve. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
look,
well said.
Yeah, look, the Ultimate Fighter finale is still rumoured to be taking place at UFC 292. And I think news that broke this week about UFC 292 is Ian Gary is no longer fighting Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal has pulled out, and it looks like we're going to get Ian Gary versus Neil Magny. The poster that we posted months ago is now come to fruition, and it looks like we're getting that fight. Barry, do you think this is a better fight or a worse fight or the same level of fight?
I think it's actually... Oh, very good question. I don't know. I'd see it sort of in the same ballpark. But I thought Jeff Neal will probably give Ian more difficulty on the feet. But I think Neil Magny might try and test Ian on the ground, which is something we haven't really seen yet, which is also be a great test to see how far Ian's come. But I think Ian's just on that like next level, like sort of like in the top 10. I see him in the top 10, but sort of like one of the biggest prospects to keep growing. Like the team he's in, like the confidence he has, which is very important as well. There's no point of having all the ability in the world and not being able to like believe in yourself. See, believe, achieve. I just like, I think everyone wants to see how far can Ian Machado Gary get pushed, and do I think Neil Magny can do it? No, but I think Ian can win impressively enough that the next step will be even tougher. But there's not many more steps for Ian to take until he's in that absolute elite top 5, Ross.
Yeah, there really, really isn't. I think after this fight, I think we'll see the Wonderboy fight. In terms of Magny versus Jeff Neal, I think Neil Magny has the bigger name. He has the better credentials. I think Jeff Neal might give out more damage in a fight than Neil Magny might do. But I think Ian was going to win both of them. I think this one, I think he'll win as well, and I think he'll win handy enough. And that's not really disrespect to Neil Magny. I just think he's that much better than him. I think the Wonderboy fights next. I think after he fights Wonderboy and beats a Wonderboy, Then you get into the deep waters, the real deep waters of the division. Your Kamaru Usmans, your Shavkat Rachmanovs, your Kobe Covingtons, your Leon Edwards, your Hamzat Shemaevs. Like that's when like they're sort of almost the big five of welterweight. And don't forget Bilal Muhammad as well. Like you know what I mean, like as much as people don't like to remember the name or people like to sleep on him, like that fella is an elite welterweight, so he's in there as well. These are the guys who I think are the ones that are going to be the real test. These are the ones who determine whether you can win a championship or not. A win over them means you're a championship caliber.
Do you know what, I get what you're saying. You think that Wonderboy fight is the one that bridges the gap between a Magny to a Muhammad?
Well, I think if he beats Neil Magny, which I think he will,
yeah,
I think Wonderboy is like almost like your superstar fight, as in like you beat Wonderboy and you move into this like title. Like Bilal Muhammad, I think is the same almost bracket as Wonderboy. He's like the 5 or 6 out of the top 5 or 6, if you know what I mean. He's like the next one down, if that makes sense. He's the entry level to that top 5. And I don't mean that in skill wise, but like a win over Wonderboy name recognition wise is better than a win over Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah, I get you. I just for some reason I can't foresee the Wonderboy fight happening. But like Ian does need a big name on his resume, and Magny.
Well, Ian's like personally trying to call Wonderboy to get the fight going.
Yeah, but then how come they didn't make Wonderboy this weekend? Because Wonderboy's fight was cancelled the week before.
Who knows? Maybe Magny was just first phone call up, and that's what they went with. You know what I mean? He said yes because Neil Magny says yes to everyone.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like these people, like I think Dana wasn't happy that Wonderboy didn't accept the fight at 291. So maybe they were just like, right, Neil Magny will definitely say yes. So like, let's just get this over the line. No headaches.
Yeah. Put it this way, like Wonderboy hasn't got that many more cuts left in him. Like he is 40 at this stage. But
yeah, I think at MSG on that Jones card, Wonderboy versus Gary, perfect.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Unbelievable!
Yeah, but we'll that next week is UFC 292. We will be getting into it more because obviously Sugar Shane is taking on Aljamain Sterling.
Why'd you call him Shane?
No, that's what Snoop Dogg calls.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, what? Sorry,
Come on,
Snoop
man.
are just tight as you and him, man.
No, it's just he still calls him that to this day. But all right, yeah, Ross. Like for all the people looking forward to Ian Gary, we're looking forward to it too. We have been in touch with him, trying to get him on the show. Like all these fight changes and stuff. Let's see what happens. But we have been reaching out. Ross, over the weekend, UFC Tennessee was on. Home of the
Tennessee Titans.
Come on. Yeah. The winner was Corey Sandhagen by decision. And we put a poll out after saying, who do the people want to see Corey fight next? Is it the winner of Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling or Merab Dvalishvili? What was the result, Ross?
The winner of Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling.
Incorrect again, bud. Typical. The winner was Merab Dvalishvili by 51%. That is
all right. Well, don't feel too bad.
No,
don't feel
man,
too
you got
bad.
it wrong. You got it wrong, right?
When I voted, it was Aljo and
it doesn't matter, man.
Sean O'Malley.
It doesn't matter, man. So make sure you get onto the Instagram page and vote in these, because every week I'm going to be testing Ross's knowledge of the people who follow the Energized show. Ross is like, he's crying underneath them glasses.
Do you know what? I feel so out of tune with what the people want, Baz. You know.
How could you think that? Like, just look at yourself. This is what the people want. Ross, this weekend, UFC is back to Vegas, man. Home of the
Knights. The Vegas Knights.
By the way, that stadium is meant to be sensational. Yeah, Ross, it is back in Vegas. Our mate Vicente Luque is taking RDA, Ralphie Dos Nachos, a.k.a. Break Out the Red Panties. Who are you expecting to win in this Battle of Brazil?
Oh, I actually think this one's like as 50-50 as it gets, but I think I'm going to go for Vicente Luque on this occasion. I think he's been fighting at welterweight a bit longer, and I feel like RDA is definitely on the downturn of his career, so I'm going to go for Vicente Luque.
can't believe that. But like
Who are you
Vicente
picking,
Vicente is alumni of the Energized show, so
Yeah.
and he trains with Ian Gary. So I'm gonna have to go with Vicente Luque. But we will find out next week who do people want to see Vicente Luque fight next. Ross, before we get into Dana White's Contender Series, which is back, it came back on Tuesday, and next week George Hardwick will be fighting on it, and the week after Oban Elliott will be fighting it. There's a massive announcement. Israel Adesanya is defending his title at UFC 293. It is a 293. Yeah, I wasn't sure there.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's taking on Sean Strickland, everyone's favorite middleweight. What do you make of this fight, Ross?
Well, I have a question for you. What are you looking forward to more? Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya at UFC 93, or Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya at the press conference for UFC 293?
Oh, Jesus. I'm looking forward to the press conference more. First of all, it's a better time zone for us, and also like verbal warfare is where Sean Strickland is in his element, and I don't know, for some reason he's just able to get under Israel Adesanya's skin, like, and no one else I've seen before. Remember, like last time on stage, he was like, "Pereira, go get Adesanya for me." Like it was just it was crazy.
I do think it's a fairer fight on the mic than it is mano-a-mano in the cage. So I have to agree. I think the press conference is definitely going to be more of a highlight than the fight. But you never know. Sean Strickland's he's a tough SOB, so he might surprise a few people.
What do you sort of make of Sean Strickland in not only just the middleweight division, but in the UFC?
He's definitely a character. I definitely don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but he is who he is, so you just love him or hate him, you're definitely going to be entertained by him. He's almost like he's more controversial than Colby at this stage, I think, really.
Is he more controversial than Mike Perry?
Probably. I feel like people don't really take Mike Perry serious or something. So I feel like
people don't really take Sean Strickland that seriously either.
I feel like they take him a bit more serious than Mike Perry. I also feel like Mike Perry's sort of hard to understand sometimes. That so you might actually not actually understand what he's saying.
Okay.
He's less coherent.
Do you think Sean Strickland is the most controversial fighter in the UFC?
Definitely like top 3 pound for pound right now. Anyway, I would probably say yes, but like maybe there's some more controversial. Like it depends on what you consider controversial. Like I remember like when Greg Hardy was in the UFC, like he was very controversial for different reasons. I feel like
controversial on the mic.
Controversial on the mic, yeah. I think he's pound for pound number 1 right now.
Who'd be the top 3 right now?
Himself, Colby Covington's definitely up there. I think Aljamain Sterling gets up there as well, because I feel like he still has this sort of victimization at some stages. It's still like he definitely, like, the fans definitely rubs the fans up the wrong way a lot. So I'd put him up there.
And one more for the bad guy.
Finishing that segment off with the bad guy himself.
The ultimate bad guy.
Yeah,
the ultimate bad guy. No, but yeah, we'll. I can't wait to get into that more. I can't wait to see, because Strickland is just becoming more of a star.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I've noticed even in the comments, and like,
yeah,
people want to see what this guy has to say. And that's hard to do. Not many fighters get people wanting to see what they say.
Yeah, but like if you look at that middleweight division, you have Jared Cannonier. No offense, like no one wants to see a Jared Cannonier press conference. Rob Whittaker, like people respect Rob Whittaker, they like him. Dricus Du Plessis, like they have no real interest in him outside the Adesanya fight. Like obviously there's that Battle of Africa is there, and people are interested in that, but like they weren't dying to see a Dricus Du Plessis versus Rob Whittaker press conference, put it that way. Anytime Sean Strickland's at a press conference, like it's must see TV.
Yeah, that's why they keep getting him headlining the Apex, the king of the Apex, Ross. Right, Ross. Dana White's Contender Series is coming back. Episode 1 is down. Season 7, 5 people got contracts. Next week, George Hardwick is headlining, and we had him on in the build-up with Oban Elliott. If you want to check that out, make sure to check that out. What are you sort of expecting from this season? Like so far, they've announced George Hardwick's going to be on it, Oban Elliott's going to be on it, Justin Burlinson's going to be on it, and there's talk about Paul Hughes be on it.
Yeah, I don't really want to see Paul Hughes on the Contender Series. I think he should actually just go straight in, if I'm honest.
People said the same about George.
I think he's at that level. Yeah, true, but I feel like there's a spot against Nate Haspercat over in Paris at the moment. There's a lot of noise been made on the European scene to get him that spot.
Yeah.
So they should get him that spot. And like, I think for me, George Hardwick, like, he's already got a spot. So like, why not just leave it there? I don't think, a lot of the fights look like they've already been made on the Contender Series. There's one or two without opponents that I can see. So like, maybe we get him in, maybe we don't. But why not have Paul Hughes fight in Paris? But like George Hardwick, I think he's going to go in there. From my money, I think he's going to get the win. I think he's elite level competition already. I think his boxing is incredible. He's a real student of the game, and I can't wait to see him go out there and do it. To be honest.
Yeah, it's just been officially announced. Ian Gary against Neil Magny as well. Just check there.
Happy days.
But conceive, believe, achieve.
You're the future.
Believe, achieve. Shut the fuck up.
Very basic. But no, as we said, Ross, next week is going to be the final Ultimate Fighter episode before they do the finale. I've really enjoyed doing these shows. I know people have tuned in and followed along. So we'll see what the future holds, doing our own sort of catch up with the week shows, depending on how work is. Because if people didn't know, we also have like other jobs and families and other commitments beyond looking this handsome on screen all the time.
This is number one bullshit.
But Ross, what are you expecting from the finale from the Ultimate Fighter before we get into it? Next week's episode.
Yeah, I expect Rico versus Bragatona, and obviously we have Kurt Holloway versus Austin Hubbard. I think Austin Hubbard versus Kurt Holloway. I think Kurt Holloway is going to win after seeing that. I think his stock is the highest right now, and I think out of the bantamweights, I think Bragatona is going to win it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and let's see how it goes down. I suppose for us going forward, I know we've started doing these Wednesday shows. People like them. Who knows? Maybe we do one next week. Maybe. Well, I know today's actually a Thursday show, but like, who knows? Maybe we get George Hardwick on after the Contender Series to find out who he got on. We'll see if we want to do that. Like, obviously, then there's Oban Elliott the following week, and then I was actually looking at week 4, Baz. 2 featherweight fighters have no opponent, so maybe I'm wrong. And maybe if Paul Hughes doesn't get on the Paris card, we see him at his natural weight class on week 4 on the Contender Series in 3 weeks' time, and we see him go out there and fight one of those guys. I'd be up for it. Like I'm not against him going in the Contender Series. I just thought if that Paris card's available for him, get him on it.
If one of us go to war, we all go to war.
We're going to keep pushing this Paul Hughes situation, like, non-stop.
Exactly. And, like, Kiefer needs to get a shout as well. Like, I can see week 6 only has 3 fights on it, and week 7 only has 3 fights on it. So, like, there's definitely more fights to come around. So, let's see how it goes. And I know we have the likes of Justin Burlinson as well to come on and have a fight as well. So, like, let's get more European talent in there. Only dying to see it. You're dying to see it. The fans at home are dying to see it. So, let's make it happen.
Exactly, man. Like, it's just so much more. Like, the episode 1, there was no real European people. I think there was actually a big Polish heavyweight, but like, never heard of him. But and there was someone who fought in Cage Fight Series as well. I saw as well. Shout out Cage Fight Series. But Ross, that's going to wrap up the show. We're going to be back next week. I'm going to be another year older, another year less wiser. James Gallagher is fighting this Friday as well, to make sure to check that out. And Ross, I think you should take us away, bud.
Yeah, guys. Tomorrow is Baz's birthday, so don't forget to wish him happy birthday, the main man. If you have watched this and you're enjoying it, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and as always, stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.